Today's message is Agent Deactivated. Now this came to me in a few different forms, and we're going to go over those before we dive into the cards. It's like a Matrix type situation where Agent Smith has been deactivated, or it could be a literal CIA asset, CIA op, CIA agent deactivated for coming against a spiritual one. This is the material realm versus the spiritual realm. You'll often hear people talk about spiritual warfare. This is a spiritual warfare, especially right now in the current time that we're in. This message will be timeless, but it is being recorded on March 21st, 2026. Again, it's timeless, so it'll apply for whenever it is you come across the message. But I kept getting two different phrases that I'm somewhat familiar with just in different research and studies, studies that I do in my own time. But Archons I know in Gnosticism are, I believe they're like different gods. And I did hang on a second, let's pause briefly, and I'm going to pull up the definition here and we'll go over it. Okay, so we'll get to that. So Archons, so Archons are a concept found in multiple contexts, primarily in Gnosticism, mythology, and popular culture. Now I've put this screenshot up on the screen so you can zoom it in if you just do, rather than a pinch, you do the spreading your fingers across your screen. You should be able to zoom in and read along here with me. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but most of it here. In Gnostic cosmology, Archons are malevolent, ignorant, cosmic rulers who govern the material world under the command of the Demiurge. And the Demiurge was it is the creator of this world, but the Gnostics believed that this world was like our current reality is actually a prison for humans. And it was in retaliation towards the Most High God, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not any of that. We're not going to get deep into that, but so the Demiurge, a flawed creator God. They are seen as spiritual jailers, just like I said, trapping the divine spark within human souls and preventing enlightenment. So they're trying to trap the light and prevent enlightenment to the humans that are in this physical realm, this jail. So the 7 Archons are often associated with the 7 classical planets: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, each embodying a vice or passion that binds souls to the physical realm. This could be like the 7 sins, the 7 unforgivable sins, or whatever, the 7 spirits of God, or Yahweh as well, if you want to go biblical on it. Their names and roles vary across text, but they are consistently portrayed as obstacles to salvation or enlightenment. Again, the Christ consciousness. Now, it gives the names of the 7. I'm not going to go through all those, but it goes down and it says, these beings are central to Gnostic myths about the fall of Sophia, which is wisdom. Wisdom is mentioned in the Proverbs as well, and she says that she was there at the beginning of creation. That's, if you're going to go biblical and that's what you're into, then you got to know what it says. But the fall of Sophia, wisdom, or the divine feminine, not all these nonsense women out here are trying to call themselves queens and divine feminines when they're anything but divine. whose failed attempt to know the unknowable Father, or the Most High, led to the creation of Yaldabaoth, and subsequently the Archons. And then they're also over here on the side, it's a side note there, in Gnosticism and religion closely related, they were builders of the physical universe. In Roman and Greek times, they were also just, Archon was a name given to rulers or in the physical realm, like Caesars and things like that, emperors even. The other word or name that kept coming up was Abraxas. Now, I'm only familiar with Abraxas because Carl Jung, in his Red Book, he actually makes reference to having an encounter with Abraxas and several conversations, a very lengthy conversation, which it mentions down here at the bottom, but we'll get to that in a moment. Abraxas is a supreme cosmic entity in Gnostic tradition, often regarded as the great Archon, who transcends the Demiurge, the flawed creator god of the material world, associated with the number 365, the sum of the Greek letters in its name. Abraxas symbolizes the 365 heavens or spiritual realms and represents the unity of opposites, encompassing, here's the key, encompassing both divine light and darkness, good and evil. Depicted as a hybrid figure with a rooster's head, human torso, and serpent legs, often wielding a whip and a shield, Abraxas appears on ancient amulets and magical gems used for protection and spiritual power. The term is linked to both Gnostic theology and Greco-Roman magical practices and may etymologically be connected to abracadabra, which, we'll not get into that either right now. Do your research. If you're interested in it, go dive into it. In modern esoteric thought, particularly in the writings of Carl Jung, Abraxas represents the unified force of existence, a deity beyond moral duality, embodying the totality of the psyche and the driving force behind individuation. So what I'm getting here is that, well, I'll probably use it as a title, but what is an Archon to Abraxas? This is darkness trying to go up against something that is both dark and light, but the master of those, the creator of the dark and the light. The Demiurge is trying to go up against what it was created from, or what it must answer to, because it was actually created from Sophia. Go look up the mythology on that. It's a very interesting story from what I remember. I'm not going to act like an expert on it. I'm not. But I do enjoy listening to and reading about things along that level. But this is about forces of darkness, the forces of darkness. This can be physical realm. This could be like politicians, world leaders, corrupt people in those levels, these elites, we'll say, the corrupt elites who are going against spiritual. So they're only enveloped and serve darkness, but they're going up against spiritual beings, not spirit beings. I'm saying spiritual, who are physical, who are here jailed in the physical, but are both balanced in the duality of light and dark. What are you going to do against that? Someone who wields the power of both when you are only familiar with the one power. So, what's an Archon to Abraxas, huh? What is an Archon? What do you can't even battle. You don't compare. So when forces of darkness want to come up against someone, and I'm thinking this must be us. This can be you who are listening to this right now. The forces of darkness want to come up against someone who is balanced in both dark and light. Let's get us a couple of these little cards here, and then we'll jump straight into whatever the message is, anchored in what you are, anchored in knowing what you are. This is the 8. That's also, it's 35, but it's an 8. It's infinity. It's the limnus. It anchored, eternally anchored in what you know and what you believe in. You already know what you are. And then we have 20, which is the opening to a garden. This reminds me of the Ace of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. But it's entering into a garden. There's a beautiful little fountain, a laid out garden here, maybe being on the outside of the garden. The forces of darkness want back into the garden. Here we go, biblical again with the Eden, right? And the Emperor, we keep getting this rider, this guy that looks like yours truly, honestly. He's got a fancy brimmed hat, pretty cool beard. We get that to focus on there. Yours truly, riding on the black horse, riding on the dark horse. I'll be the one who brings in destruction for you, you low-life sons of biatches out here trying to bring darkness against those who are just trying to get through your little prison. When you're awakening or aware, it's like the Matrix again. This is like Agent Smith's Neo. None. It didn't matter how many times Agent Smith multiplied his self and wherever he appeared, he was still no match for Neo. Still, the chosen. The chosen. And we have Golden Empress, the Jewel of Abydos, Potency, Confidence, Magnetism. This is perhaps the power that you are wielding right now. If you're in the feminine energy, we all have it, masculine and feminine, but this is the confidence and potency and magnetism. It doesn't matter. Like, she reminds me of Storm from the Marvel movies. Check out her eyes there. Could be Sophia as well. Golden Empress, the Jewel of Abydos. Then we have the Exile, the Forsaken Soldier, exiled from the garden. Strategy, failure, trauma. The Forsaken Soldier. All right. The Forsaken Soldier. This could be one of the Archons trying to... And then Arthur. Arthur had come up in another reading as well. The Champion of Avalon. I believe it's even... They might even be in the title. I can't remember what that one was, but companionship, nobility, self-realization. Again, Champion of Avalon with the Jewel of Abydos. Going up against, this is the masculine and feminine, the light and the dark, the good and evil balanced, or the light and shadow. I don't like to use evil in that because it's not evil, you're just your shadow. But the light and the shadow, the one who's balanced in both and anchored in who they are and guardian of the garden. You're not getting into my Garden of Eden, which is your mental, which is your mind. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's everybody looks for it somewhere else. It's not up in the sky. It's not beyond the atmosphere. It's not something that's coming eventually. It's within you, right? And then you have the one who is bringing the message. Yours truly. I'm here to bring you this message. I'm here to help you get yourself set free from not this Matrix overused terminology. I'm here to help you get broken free from the prison planet that you're in. And the Archons are trying. That's why they all want to go to Mars. That's why they all want to go to space sometime instead of fixing what's here. They know there's nothing to fix here. Not yet. There will be when the enlightened ones are freed from their chains and awakened. What is an Archon to Abraxas? What is the darkness to the one who created both light and dark? When you are directly connected to Source, Spirit, the Most High, then you're also in a flesh suit, so you're going to go through your trial times. You're going to go through your times of dealing with defeat or a defeated mindset or whatever. But when you get back, when you do the self-realization and you realize what is within you, where you come from, you're not created by these Archons. You're imprisoned by them, and their system is breaking currently. And those who are willing to open their eyes with confidence, potency meaning it's potent, meaning it will take, it will produce, it will do what it's intended to do. So when your intentions are right and you understand that you are both light and darkness, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are you Archons to Abraxas? It's like, what's a witch to a wizard? I'm not talking a warlock, a wizard. What is a witch to a wizard? Nothing. Nothing. They have nothing. And I'm not talking about a kitchen witch. I'm not talking about gray or white witches. I'm talking about a dark black magic person. What are you to someone who has mastered both? Nothing. Four of Wands. At rest. And stable. This is being laid to rest. And look up here. Look up there. The whispers of these angels. Are those good angels or are they Archons? Trying to speak on what has happened here, the freedom that is being experienced by this lovely lady on a bed of flowers. Lay you down on a bed of roses. At night I sleep. I can't remember. On a bed of nails, I think he says. And then we have the Fool. The Fool. There's two in this particular deck here. You have actually two different Jesters. The light and the dark. The funny guy and the guy that'll strip you of everything you have if you walk in his alley at the wrong time of night. Take off your shoes. Give me those shoes. Give me that jacket. And then the Three of Cups. This is all about being balanced. All about balance. Body, mind, and spirit. You know that you know that you know. What are they going to do? They can't do anything when you are bound. I'm encouraging you at this time. Put down all the love and light bullshit. This is not a time for that. Your love and light and your positive thinking and your waking up and doing affirmations are nonsense at this period of time. We're beyond that. We're into a new era. You must, both self-realization, you've got to realize the monster that lives within you. You've got to realize that there is a beast within you just waiting to be awakened. Just waiting to be awakened. And it doesn't mean you're going to be destructive. It doesn't mean you're going to be evil. It means sometimes you got to pop out and show